US Assistant Secretary of State Victoria Nuland was in Ukraine this week to meet President Viktor Yanukovych and opposition figures as the standoff between the government and protesters continues. In a phone call that was apparently bugged and posted on the internet, Ms Nuland used an expletive to scoff at the European Union's position to her colleague, US Ambassador Jeffrey Pyatt.
That would be great, I think, to help glue this thing and have the UN help glue it. And, f*** the EU.
In another excerpt, Victoria Nuland appears to suggest that one of the Ukrainian opposition leaders, Vitaly Klitschko, should not be included in any future government.
So I don't think Klitsch should go into the government. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea.
Nuland apologised to the EU but declined to answer reporters' questions on the phone call. Responding to the allegations, Germany's Foreign Minister Frank-Walter Steinmeier strongly defended the role of the European Union.
I think
what Mrs. Nuland said on the behavior of Europeans is unacceptable. I think there is no space for criticisms about our conduct regarding Ukraine. Our attitude is very cautious and well thought. There is room for discussion about sanctions, and we are carrying these discussions on.
The protests erupted in November after President Yanukovych pulled out of a trade deal with the EU, opting instead to sign a loan and energy agreement with Russia. Since then, politicians from both the United States and the European Union have visited Kiev several times. The allies had appeared to be working in tandem, says Ian Bond of the Policy Institute Centre for European Reform.
It seems to me that the EU has actually done a pretty good job in Ukraine so far, and that on the whole the EU and the US have worked together quite well. But I suspect that for many American diplomats the problem with the EU is that it works very slowly.
On the streets of Brussels there was a mixed reaction to the diplomatic dispute.
As a European citizen, I feel frustrated. It saddens me that the United States has such a low image of Europe.
Their contempt for the European Union does not come as a surprise, but it's not very democratic to discuss what the government of another country should be.
The original internet posting of the phone call has been traced to Russia. Moscow denies intercepting the communication, but analysts say the leak will do little to improve the already frosty relations between the Kremlin and the West. Henry Ridgwell for VOA News, London.